Welcome to episode 9 of the Tough Draw Talks podcast. I'm your host, Brad Hughes. We are excited to bring you an all-access look today discussing the upcoming 2021 PBR season. Appreciate you being along for the ride. We are excited to be joined by the Maypearl, Texas product, Mason Taylor. Since his rookie year in 2019, Mason has been a staple on the Unleash the Beast tour and is one of the stickiest guys going. Mason, thanks for being here today. How's it going, man?
Going good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. No, we're happy you got to come down. So where are you headed today? I know you were going through.
Yeah, we're going to Oklahoma City.
Very cool.
Go see family and stuff.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, we like to start off with a couple of rapid-fire questions, so let's get going. If you could meet one person, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Probably Sylvester Stallone.
Really?
Yeah. I'm a huge Rocky fan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you seen all of his movies or just a Rocky fan? Okay.
I own all of them.
There you go.
Rambo,
There you go.
all of them, yeah.
That's awesome. If you could be the best at anything, what would it be and why?
Probably bull riding.
Okay. Why? Just because that's how you make a living?
Yep.
Hey, easy enough, right? What makes you tick? What gets you going?
Knowing that there's somebody out there better than me. So, always strives for me to be better.
There you go. So what happens if you win the world?
Then I was the best that year, and there's someone trying to catch me now, so I got to keep it going.
There you go. What's the best compliment you've ever received?
Probably, I don't know.
You're a pretty nice guy, so I've heard.
Yeah.
That's probably something that you get a lot, but what's maybe the best compliment you've ever received in regards to your bull riding?
That I make it look easy when I do stuff right and don't get in my own way, that I can make one look, really good.
That's awesome. So you talked about Sly Stallone, but what's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie would probably have to be, man, if I had to pick one, it'd probably be Expendables. I don't know if you ever seen them, but they have him in it.
Yes,
but
he's in that, right?
It's all the
Jason Statham
yeah,
and all
it's all the great actors.
So you're an action hero, action guy,
yeah,
right? Okay.
For sure.
Cool. Well, okay, so Maypearl, Texas, little bitty town.
Very little.
Grew up, playing sports? How did the kid from Maypearl, Texas, ascend so quickly to the highest level of bull riding?
Well, I played sports. I played baseball, basketball, football, and everything like that. But rodeo has been in my family before me. Like, my dad did it for 25 years, and Mom, she was a secretary at all the bull riding. So, like, when I was born, I was pretty much born into it. I was gonna have something to do in rodeo. So, I kind of tried to get away from rodeo. Like, I didn't want to do it when I was younger. When I was like 5, 6, and 7, like, I would go ride and I loved it, but I'd be scared to death. Like, I'd be trying to get on calves and steers and be scared. But no, I tried to play baseball and went pretty good and pretty far in that, and then got burned out on it. And I looked at Dad and was like, hey, let's do this bull riding for real. I want to try to be the best at it. So I think when I was 12 is when I told him that, and I hadn't looked back since.
The rest is history.
Yeah.
Did you ever try other events in rodeo? Did you try roping and bronc riding and all that?
Team rope, rope calves, or go work out in the pasture and, day work and stuff like that. But, like, as far as, like, bucking horses go, I got on some Welch ponies when I was younger, but not, like, no big, scary broncs. I will never, ever do that.
That's so funny to hear a bull rider say that broncs are scary.
Oh, they are. Have you seen how big them things are?
Yeah, they're real tall and their feet are big.
Really, really hard. Yeah.
So you grew up in the community, and the community around rodeo and Western culture is just really important. How was that growing up in that type of community? It wasn't just your mom and your dad. Like, talk a little bit about the dynamic of how the community raises you, essentially.
It's, pretty cool, because when you're in a close, tight-knit family like that, we all have family, but then everybody has rodeo family. Like, everybody can pretty much name one family that is in rodeo that, they'll help out or they'll help you out whenever you need it. So it just gives you, a sense of comfort. Like, every time that you are in a rodeo or you're far away and you might not have your family with you, you do have family with you. Like, you've always got someone there for you, and it's really neat.
So are the Naps somebody that's kind of like that for you?
For sure.
Because I talked to Chris and Jacob, and going back to the highest compliments, so they gave some pretty high regard statements about you. You were a regular out there, and they said that just in general how fast you learned. They said one day he was riding just some jump kickers, and then before you knew it, he was riding and covering a lot of their best spinners.
Yeah.
What is it about your dedication to the craft? Like, you just a quick learner? Is it your athleticism? Like, what do you think led to that?
I think that's just the one thing that, I was given. That's a gift that I got, was being able to pretty much figure anything out that has to do with sports. Like, I might not be the best at everything, but I'm good at just about anything that, I can sit there, I can take some time to practice it, I can pretty much do it. And that, like, I'm not gifted when it comes to like school and book smart and stuff like that, but when it comes to athletics, I can just about do anything. So when it comes to bull riding, I wasn't the kid that was just, tearing it up from calf riding to open bulls. Like, I used to suck. Like, I was not very good, but I had the, will to not quit, and I would, I'd be the one that would hang underneath one before I would, let go of one.
Right till your head hits the ground, basically.
Well, so Jacob and Chris, they kind of took me as, like, they didn't really tell me what I was going to do, but they were like, hey, look, you need to get on this bull, you need to get on this one. And then I met a guy named Cody Johnson, and that's been my mentor. I don't know if y'all remember him from when he rode, but he made the finals in 2012.
Didn't he win Rookie of the Year?
But he was
close though.
He was, he was the only rookie I think that year to win an event or something like that. But he rode really, really good, and he took me under his wing. And it's like when I met them two people, Jacob and then Cody and Chris as well. So them three people right there. As soon as I met them, my bull riding just skyrocketed, because Cody taught me the fundamentals that I needed to know, and Jacob and all them had all the bulls that I needed to get on. Like, I remember one night I got on 16 bulls there one Wednesday night.
Oh my gosh.
One night, got on 16.
How? How?
I don't know.
Like, I guarantee you,
youth is a wonderful thing.
Everybody's listening to this podcast right now, and they're saying 16.
Yeah,
no
I
way.
did. I got on 16 bulls in one night over there and rode 14 of them.
That is nuts.
Yeah. But it's that kind of stuff right there is why I escalated so quickly like I did. There would be guys that would go and they'd get on 2-3 bulls, and, they probably wouldn't ride any of them. Yeah. I wasn't. Cody would never, ever let me finish on a buck off. I always had to finish the night out on a good ride, and I had to stay on. And so, when I was going out there, Jacob and Chris, they would load up whatever. Like, hey, what do you want today? Do you want just a good practice bull? Do you want something that really bucks? Do you want something to get some timing down, jump kick? And so I'd be like, hey, a little of everything. So I'd get on jump kicker first. I'd get on a good little practice bull second. And then I'd get on something that really bucks at the end. And, in the night, if I rode him, if not, I went and picked my rope up and got on another one. Yeah.
So in regards to you played sports growing up, but, and you've done a lot. What would you compare bull riding the most to, as far as whether it's the muscle memory, whether it's the like the training? What sport did you feel like prepared you the most, or at least compares?
Man, I'd probably have to say baseball, just because that's what I played the longest. Baseball, you got to have muscle memory on. Like, you can't think twice about when you field a ground ball. You're playing shortstop. You got to throw it from there to first or turn a double play. Like, you can't have to think about that stuff. It's got to become second nature and reaction. So I think that helped me a lot with bull riding too, because I was so used to already having something that required muscle memory and just doing something over and over and over. So, and, Justin McBride says it the best. If you do the fundamentals at whatever you're doing, it pretty much probably going to work out for you. If you don't complicate it too much, then the fundamentals will pretty much get it done every single time.
Yeah. So, Chris, going back to compliments, Chris said that you are one of the most solid and mentally tough young men in and out of the arena, and he thinks that your dedication will make you a champion. Like, he truly believes that. So that was his proclamation.
That's pretty high coming from Chris. He don't talk very much.
I haven't had that experience. I can get Chris to talk.
Yeah.
But no, man, just, the closeness of the community and people taking you under their wing and stuff like that. I mean, that's so cool to hear. And, for you to ascend as quickly as you did and just diversify in athletics and stuff, that's so cool. The 2020 season, what comes to your mind when I say the 2020 season?
That was a train wreck. I started out the season on fire, won the 15-15, finished 4th in New York, and I don't think I stayed on a bull for the next 6 weeks after that.
Yeah.
I don't know, like it just went downhill in a hurry because I knew I was going to be on tour then when I finished 4th and won the 15-15. I mean, I was in the top 5, and I was like, well, there's no way I'm getting cut now. Let's just put it in coast mode, and I won't do that this year.
Yeah. So what did the year teach you about yourself? Because you were a part of the bubble that was in Las Vegas for the Monster Energy Team Challenge. Yeah. You were a part of when they reopened in Guthrie. Like, what did you learn about yourself, and what did those were there any little specific nuggets that you pulled from each event that kind of led, like you're saying, you realized quick that you can't just put it in coast mode.
Yeah.
But what did the other things, PBR shut down for a little bit. They were the first to get back to it. Like, how did that play out for you?
Well, it definitely showed us not to take anything for granted because at any given time, our job can be taken away from us like that. So, that it made us, appreciate everything that they're doing for us, and them getting back as quickly as they did, that was, such a blessing. And like when we were in the bubble and there wasn't any fans, and there wasn't any fans at Guthrie, like when it was just us and the bull riders, and we're still getting on the rankest bulls in the world, we find out who really wants it then. You got to be able to dig down deep, and you got to fire yourself up. And I think that's another cool thing about being such a tight-knit group of guys, because we want each other to do good, and when one guy does good, it kind of starts the domino effect when they start good, and then it's our turn. So, it kind of brought everybody together, I think.
That's one thing I was noticing. Like, bull riding is definitely a man versus beast, kind of a solo sport. However, especially like, the PBR getting real creative with the Global Cup and the Monster Energy Challenge this summer and these little team type events. It's almost like your whole mentality has to shift. Yeah,
you go from relying on yourself to stay on to relying on 4 other guys to stay on, or 5 other guys. It definitely takes some, faith to be able to be like, okay, look, I did my job. Now you go do your job. But it's not that hard because we're the top 35 in the world. So if there's any other person that I would want on a team, it's one of them 35 guys.
Yeah,
so, it definitely makes it a little easier. And, them guys are the same way. If they do their job, they're expecting me to do my job. So it kind of like rises your riding, I think.
Yeah.
To be like, well, now instead of just riding for me, I'm not okay with me falling off, but I only have to answer to myself. If I fall off now, I got to answer to 4 other guys. So I think it just kind of rises your riding.
Yeah. So growing up in the sport, and it always been, you go to the naps, you get on 16 bulls.
Yeah.
You go in the practice pen and you don't stop until you don't. It's kind of like shooting free throws, right?
Yeah.
You don't stop on a miss, right? What is the mentality? Like, does that completely shift your whole mindset? Are you a fan of it? Do you like it? Do you think it, because bull riding is such a, self-reliant sport, do you like the team aspect and the dynamic?
Not really.
Not really.
I'm kind of selfish. But, I do like the Global Cup. I love that. The aspect of that, man, I haven't been able to be a part of it yet. And so that's another thing I'm riding for come 2021. I really want a spot on that team. And, there's a reason I hadn't been picked. I hadn't given them a reason to pick me yet. I can get hot for, a month straight and then fall off for 3 months straight. That's not a guy they want on there. They want a guy that's consistent and that they can rely on. So that's another thing I'm riding for this year, is to get a spot on that team. But, yeah, I like the team deal in that aspect. But, yeah, I kind of like, it being a soul man sport too, because it always has been. That's how we grew up. it was you. You had to stay on your bull to take care of yourself, and I kind of like it that way.
Yeah. Is that, so you alluded to consistency. Is that probably one of the biggest things that you want to focus on going into this year?
Yeah, because that's nuts. I used to be one of the most consistent people around until I started riding in the PBR.
Yeah.
I mean, me and my cousin Cannon Cravens, he would ride, I think his record's like 28 or 29 in a row, and mine's 22. Like we did not fall off. And so that kind of took some getting used to coming up here, getting on. Because, like, we would get on the same bulls, but it wasn't 3 of them in one weekend.
Yeah.
You know, we'd go and get on 1 a weekend maybe.
Yeah.
But that's just kind of been the biggest thing, is me being mentally tough to be okay with losing. Because you're not going to win every weekend up on this tour. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You're not.
So going into 2021, you know, there's obviously been some alterations with the PBR schedule. We're coming right up on Ocala, Florida, and they're having to keep a lot of the events in Florida, Texas, stuff like that. I mean, you know, you were part of all the things that the PBR pushed to get open, like the Vegas bubble, the Guthrie, et cetera, et cetera. What do you think about how hard they're working, especially with this new, what do they call it, the American Roots Tour?
Yeah,
I think is what they're calling it.
Back to the Roots. Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think about that? Do you think it's cool that y'all get to go to some of these older outdoor
yeah, that
arenas?
means I ain't got to buy my PRCA stuff now. Now we get to do it with just bull riding. I mean, I'm excited for it. I really do. Like, I mean, I've always wanted to ride in Del Rio. I've never rode there. I've been to the Pecos Rodeo. It's a very cool arena, very cool rodeo, a lot of history there. Be cool to go there. And, heck, I mean, what better way to start it out in Florida? You get to go, you know, it's Florida. There's beaches everywhere. It's sunny. It's warm. I'm ready for it.
So this will be your 3rd season on the UTB tour full time, pretty much. You know, both of the last 2 years you've had top 15 finishes, 6 90-point rides so far. What's your goal this year? What do you have your sights set on for 2021?
At least be in the top 5. I'm tired of being in the top 15. I am. I'm tired of being the middle of the pack guy, and I'm not a middle of the pack guy. I'm ready to take that next step and, you know, be in the top 5 and be in the conversation for a world title. You know, that's what every one of the top 35 guys, that's what they're pushing for. And, you know, at any given moment, any one of them 35 guys can step up and push for a world title. It just depends on, you know, who's on for the longest. Because everybody goes through dry spells. I mean, it's the rankest bulls in the world. I mean, and the best guys in the world, everybody goes through a dry spell. But it's who can come back the fastest from that dry spell and stay hottest the longest.
So you started 2021 off right early January with some points at the Cowtown Classic. I was there Friday night filming, but you weren't riding. So how did you end up riding on Saturday and covering 2 and winning the event?
Man, I was an alternate. I was not even first alternate. I was like 15th or 16th alternate or something like that.
Oh, wow.
I just brought my bag and showed up, and I decided to go stand up by the secretary, and whoever didn't show up, that's whose bull I got. So
sounds like it worked out.
Yeah, I'm glad it did. You know, I was tired of not getting on. I watched everybody the first night, and, you know, then the classic bulls, the 4-year-olds, you know, all of them are going to be good.
I know you and Dalton are buddies. It looks like you brought the best out of him that night too.
We're pretty close, man. I love Dalton to death. He pushes me more than I can push myself. Like, he's an old soul.
Because he beat you in Rookie of the Year, didn't he?
Oh yeah.
Because y'all were rookies the same year.
Yeah, and he didn't even. That just goes to show like how, you know, tough our rookie class was. It was me, Dalton,
Dalen was in
it? Zeke. It was Zeke, you know, all of it. Taylor Tovas. I mean, there was a load of us. You know, Dylan Smith. There was a lot of us. You know, that all of us young guys coming up that ride really, really good. And, you know, I mean, he was a lot better than we were. You know, at events, you know, he didn't fall off.
He made the short round all the time.
Made short round every single weekend, and you know, we made short round every single weekend too. But he'd capitalize. He'd stay on in short round, and we wouldn't. Yeah. And then when we got to the finals, him placing very high in that first round. I mean, I rode one bull and was like 85 or 86 points, and I think he was like 88.5. So he pretty much had it sewed up. Yeah. You know, whenever, I mean, we all fell off the rest of the week, but, you know, it was just he don't let nothing bother him very often. So he pushes me, and he's a very good friend to have behind there.
Yeah, that's awesome. The camaraderie, just watching y'all on Friday night when I was back there, that was cool. You were encouraging him. He was encouraging you. I know, right?
I want him to do just as good as I do.
Yeah. Well, he almost did. He was only 2 points behind you.
I got lucky.
Was that your first time riding in Cowtown?
Like at that PBR or ever?
Just in general.
Oh, no. I grew up riding there every single weekend pretty much.
What's it? So, historic stockyards, what does that mean to you when you get to step in there? I know it's, a lot of people can look at it and it's an older arena and all that, but there's a lot of history there.
There is so much history there. There's history that I don't even know about that has went on in there. I mean, it's kind of like going to, I don't know, Pendleton or, something like that. Everybody wants to come ride at Fort Worth. And, I mean, why wouldn't you? It's a very fun town.
Yeah. We like being down here.
Yeah.
So, with Tough Draw and with the podcast, we really are focusing on like celebrating the heart of the community in general. So we talked a little bit about it. We alluded to your dad riding and stuff like that. But what is it to be embraced by the culture? Like, what does it mean? Because for me, I'm just a fan of the sport, right? And I shoot videos and do a podcast, and but yet. I've got people that wrap their arms around me. We're so close to Chris and Jacob. And Jacob poured into you. Mm-hmm. What is it about this culture and this community where it's just like everybody knows everybody? And it's such a, there's so much heart to it.
It is. There's a lot of people nowadays that they could care less what other people think of them or what other people, do for them or stuff like that. But, I mean, when you're a part of a cowboy culture, it's everybody is friends, everybody knows everybody wants to do everything with each other. I mean, I think that's why we are so close, and everybody should get back to the way that, cowboys and all of us do things, because it's so much simpler. It's so much, I don't know what's the word for it. It's so much like easier just being able to talk to somebody. And whatever happened to giving somebody a handshake? You walk up, meet somebody, handshake. Now you're just like, it's all social media and all just crap.
Nobody wants to talk.
Nobody wants to talk when we're still kind of old school. Everybody in the cowboy world, we're all, we meet everybody. We still shake hands. It's yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. We still got some manners to us. I mean, that's why I love this. That's why I love being a part of it. And that's why I love growing up in a community that's like this, is because it kind of gives you the right people skills to be able to go throughout your life and treat others how you would want to be treated. It shows you how the right way to live, the wrong way to live, stuff like that. I mean, I'm kind of partial to it, but there ain't a better lifestyle than being a cowboy.
Well, so how does, one of the biggest things James and I especially, like, we just loved, and, and it's every time you go to a rodeo, there's the national anthem, the flag, the pledge, not the pledge, but there's invocation, prayer, like everything. There's always something, and it means something to these people in this culture. Like the NFR was a great example of just how far this culture takes it. How some of the things you're alluding to, like, how does faith play into that? I mean, because faith, in my opinion, is such a huge part of this culture too.
It is, yeah.
And there's so much I feel like today's society could take, like you're alluding to, from the cowboy culture.
For sure.
But how does faith, in your opinion, how does faith play into just the culture in general in your career?
Man, I'm about one of the most God-fearing men you'll ever meet. My dad, I grew up, my dad was a youth pastor and a pastor for most of my till I was probably 16, he was a youth pastor. And so I grew up in church. I know what's right, what's wrong. And I know that, I'm a saved Christian. So, I mean, it has a very big part, because what I do for a living is very, very dangerous, and you can die from it. So, I think having faith, knowing that there is, that is the way, that's why I can do what I do without any second thoughts or anything like that. And that's why everybody is. That's why you see so many of us are, our faith is very strong, is because all of us are doing a sport that at any given moment, at the blink of an eye, something can happen and it can take your life. Yeah. So, and it just goes to show, that's how it should be. That's how this all started. It's kind of surreal that you can everybody's like, faith is a big part of rodeo.
Yeah. Amen. Yeah, no. that to us, that's so paramount. And, thank you for sharing that. We agree 100%.
Yeah.
To wrap this up, let's run through a couple online fan questions,
all
right?
Let's do it.
We had some interesting ones this week. Somebody did ask, how does your faith contribute to bull riding? But that was something that I definitely wanted to talk about, with the community and stuff. Brent asks, what's your most memorable ride to date?
Most memorable?
Doesn't even have to be your highest scoring, but to you, what just stood out? As that was one.
Kind of cliche, but I'd probably have to say Bill the Butcher. When I rode him twice in one weekend at New York, I was 90 on him both times, and not very many people ride that bull. And even though I rode him twice, ain't nobody like him. I hate that bull.
Did you know that his name used to be Air Jordan?
Oh yeah, okay. I know exactly where he come from. He come from Hayden Shaw, and I knew that bull from when he was young. Yeah, so he had a pretty big reputation before he got to up there, and I don't know. Jeremy was trying to trick us by changing his name or what, but we still knew who he was.
Well, we have some really awesome pictures of him bucking at Cowtown, actually, with JT Moore on his back up in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was one of those, when we looked back at the pictures, we were just like, whoa, how is that possible? Way
one of the coolest pictures,
the
actually, the screensaver on my iPad is me on him, and we're probably, 4 foot off the ground. He's all stretched out and looks like he's fixing to knock my teeth out, but
glad he didn't.
Yeah, I'm glad he didn't either.
You ride with a helmet, don't you?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Very cool, man. So Jamie, interesting. Jamie wants to know if you know how to do the Cupid Shuffle.
Yeah, I think everybody does. I'd have to turn the music on, though, and follow its steps. I can't do it off the top of my head.
You need the instruction manual.
I need the instruction manual, yeah.
All right. Belinda asks, any time in history, if you could pick one bull to get on to win an event, what bull is it and why?
Man, if I had to pick just one soul that... Well, I'm going to pick two. Bruiser, one now because I never got to get on him. And two, man, I really, really wanted to get on, Hollywood. I don't know if y'all remember a bull back in the day named Hollywood, but he was probably one of my, if not the most favorite bull that I wish he was still around today. He was big, scary, bucked really hard. Every aspect of a bull.
What was it about him that made him one of your favorites?
Just had the look. He was rodeo looking, big old scary high horns. He was huge, and he did jump out there, and he bucked really, really hard, and I would love to have gotten on him. So there's so many of them that I wish I'd kind of come along at a earlier era so I could get on all them bulls like Red Wolf and Locomotive Breath and all them. But my favorite was probably Hollywood.
Cool. I always enjoyed watching Bushwhacker and Asteroid. It was so cool to see, Bushwhacker was so big and powerful, but Asteroid was small, but yet he could get completely vertical with somebody on his back. That was always just so cool to me to watch growing up. So James down there wants to know, this sounds like he's probably speaking from personal experience. If you've ever been late, what was the latest you've been to an event and still gotten on?
Oh, I walked in right at intros one time. We got stuck in traffic, and I literally, I threw my bag down, grabbed, the judges were looking for me because, they have to check our ropes and our spurs at every event to make sure, our spurs ain't sharp, getting tongue-tied, and that our rope passes. It's got, the 4-finger slack in it, and I just threw my rope down. I threw it all on the table, to where they could come back and check it because I ain't been marked off the list yet. I didn't even change pants or nothing. I just grabbed my chaps and ran to the back alley because they were fixing to start intros.
Dang. Someone asks, what is your mentality when you go into the draft in a short round?
pick the one that bucks the hardest. I can be the most points on.
Yeah. You don't. So if you're sitting really good in an event, and all you got to do is cover, you're still going that route.
Well, I mean, there is a business side to it, and like the one event that I did come in, the one I won in Sioux Falls, I come in sitting first, and I knew that bull I picked, MAGA, you could be 89 to 90 on him, and I knew I could ride him. But there was Bruiser in there was Canadian Mist, there was, Hostage, all them bulls in there, and if I wanted, like, I did take a businessman approach to that one because I really wanted to pick Bruiser, but
I bet.
I was like, I can pick Bruiser and, be 94 and win the event or fall off and not. And I knew I could ride MAGA without a, I believed in myself that I knew I could ride that bull. And I believe I can ride Bruiser too, but, I just,
I don't know why
I don't know why I took the business route out of it. If I had to do it over again, I'd pick Bruiser. But I don't know.
This was at the 2020 Velocity.
No,
Finals,
this was
right?
the 2019, the very first event that I ever won. And ever since then, I kind of got some crap from Zeke for doing that. So ever since then, I've picked, I'll walk up there and whichever one I like that bucks the hardest, that's the one I'm going to pick. And that's what I've done since then. Do
you remember who ended up with Bruiser? Zeke gave you crap, but was he even?
I think Zeke actually picked him that weekend. Yeah, I think Zeke did pick him that weekend. I think it was him that got on him.
We'll have to look through the archives and see if he actually rode him though.
No, he didn't.
Okay. Well, there you go. What is your favorite moment with a fan? Has there been a moment with a fan that really sticks out?
Yeah, Tony. There's a guy named Tony, and him and his mom, they come to as many events as they can, and he's in a wheelchair, and it just, I don't know, every time we get to see Tony, he does nothing but make me smile, and he's one of, like, every time I see him, I go out of my way to make sure I say hi to him and his mom, and they always got 3-4 people with them. We'll sit there and talk at the hotel lobby. Like, he's just him and his mom and his family, they are really true fans of the sport, and they're my favorite fans by far. Like, I love Tony to death, and every time I see him, I go and take a picture with him. I go say hi to him, and he's a hoot. He'll make you laugh and smile, and that's my favorite family, and he's definitely one of my favorite fans.
Isn't that so cool to think about, just, thinking about the community as a whole that we've already talked about, but even just the fans, like the dedication of the fans of the sport.
Yeah.
A lot of these people have never competed, will never compete, but yet they admire guys like you so much that, I mean, to me, that gives me chills. Some of the stories that I've heard from, whether it's bullfighters, bull riders, stock contractors, like people, just the fan stories, they're so cool. And
we wouldn't be able to have as big of venues as we do, and we wouldn't get so fired up there at the events without the fans. We couldn't do it without them. I mean, they're a key major fact to us being successful. So I thank all of them that come and watch us, and I love all the fans. I'll take a picture with anybody. I'll talk to anybody. I'll sit there and, talk to whoever comes up to me, because I appreciate them just as much as they appreciate us coming to put on a show. I mean, we couldn't do it without them.
So you heard it here. If you see Mason Taylor, don't hesitate to go talk to him, get an autograph, take a selfie, whatever you want to do. But, here's to definitely to 2021 and hopefully get more people back in the stands and getting in. I know with being at outdoor venues, I think y'all are going to be able to have a lot more crowd, especially with how they're doing it intentionally and,
heck yeah,
in these southern states. So
yeah, for sure.
I definitely look forward to seeing how it makes everyone step their game up and what it does for
louder they scream, the better I ride.
There you go. Well, man, thank you so much for being here. I've really enjoyed this. And again, thank you to everyone for listening. Mason, where can people find you on social media and follow along with what all you've got going on?
I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, so they can look me up on there. And I think my Instagram is like Mason Taylor 116. Yeah, and then I couldn't tell you my Facebook or Twitter one, but I'm on there.
Just search Mason Taylor and you'll find him.
Probably so y'all should come up.
Yeah, y'all be sure and follow along. And make sure and follow along with us on social media at Tough Draw and at Tough Draw Talks. for more episodes of our podcast as we continue to bring y'all closer to the rodeo community. Until next time, everyone, enjoy the ride.